And it's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. This is the sort of support we need. This is the public, endorsement that players need to feel comfortable. Like, you know what? Yeah. This is the type of change that needs to be happening in America. On the other hand, it's just really fucking convenient. And I think across the board, we're seeing that. It's like, now all of a sudden, every fucking tech and business company has something to say in terms of Black Lives Matter. When really just a week ago, you guys were not only, half of you were not putting out statements at all. The other half of you that were putting out statements were mentioning George Floyd by name, and you weren't mentioning Black Lives Matter by name. You were talking about systematic racism, which could literally mean anything. So essentially what Goodell and the NFL did was just make it easy for everybody else to retract years of both direct and indirect racism and prejudice. And so for me, it's something that I've really been birding on all week, because obviously I love and I'm passionate about the NFL, but just to see that sort of turn, like, I get it, man. People are racist, especially, the top 1%, and it is what it is, That's across the board at any company pretty much. But don't sit there and try to lie to me and tell me that you care about a cause that I've literally seen friends, die over or have their communities turn on them, and now it's all of a sudden convenient for you to just say Black Lives Matter. It's like when I learned about the history of all these different black political leaders and how they've not even political leaders or advocates or anything, just prominent black people who've somewhat been in the same room as movements get assassinated or killed. And now all of a sudden it's convenient and easy for every CEO and every person to just tweet out Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Like, it's just really conflicting for me, because it's like, yeah, on one hand, like, we need change and it's got to come from somewhere. But on the other hand, it's also like, where the fuck have you been? Why the fuck are you doing this to me? And now you're telling me that you aren't doing it or haven't been doing it, and it's just fucking me up worse. And the fact that the NFL did it at the highest, most prominent level, if I forgive the NFL, I have to forgive every single company that all of a sudden tweets Black Lives Matters, no matter what the fuck they've done in their existence. And it's just a lot for me. Anything you want to say, Kenny? How did you feel when you saw that Goodell video?
It just goes back to the same old microaggressions and racist bullshit that I've seen my whole life, that I've seen in person at my mom's job that she used to work at, when I would just peek around the corner and I would watch how, like, oh yeah, hi, Diane's son, how you doing? And then when they didn't know I was there and I saw how they would talk to my mom, the shit would get me blood red angry. And I would be like, it's one thing when you see your parents go through it, but then when you live through it, and then you and your parents have that same pain and anger and righteous indignation of racism and mistreatment, and then you see these same companies that don't give a fuck about their employees on a basic level. Shout out to people in the service industry, the food industry, who are getting hazard pay. That's a whole nother episode. But when I saw that, I was like, it's bullshit. Like, one, you didn't even mention Colin Kaepernick by name, the person who you literally racially persecuted. And Eric Reed, who still keeps getting fucking drug tests for some reason, and he's not failing any of them. Honestly, Johnny Manziel had an easier path to get back into football than Colin Kaepernick does. And that's an issue with me, just based on how they've been so racially blind and ignorant. Honestly, let's be real. Without black players, these sports don't fucking exist. Football and basketball, I'm sorry. You take out all the black players in the sport, yeah, you'll have plenty of great white players, but let's be real. Let's really be real. And I forget the comic who said this, but it might have been Eddie Griffin. I don't know. But he said it like this: niggas put butts in the stands. Okay? Just straight up. If Michael Jordan never was in the NBA, do you really think the NBA would be as popular as it is? No. Black players who are most of the sport in football and basketball, who are most of the sport and literally the highest jersey sellers, whatever. I don't care who you were. You may not like Mike Vick, but you wanted those damn shoes when they came out, those Air Zooms. Pete, did you get a pair?
Oh, I definitely had a pair.
I still want a fucking pair of those shoes. Them. I might go buy some.
They didn't release the second ones, though. The second ones were the ones I had, the red and the black joints.
Oh, my God. Those were so fire. Like, talking about A-ball jackets.
Honestly, bro, those shits might have been a size too small for me, but they were the last pair on the clearance rack, and I got them.
Fuck it. Let me go to Nordstrom rack and find some fucking Vicks on the. I don't care if they're size 10. I'll buy them. I don't care. I go to my sister.
And let me get to your point on Colin Kaepernick, and like,
it's all disingenuous.
Don't get me wrong.
Announcement was
like, I think Kaepernick should be recognized as the catalyst for the movement. You know, what he did, venturing out and making it happen, you know, deserves its rightful place in history, as with all movements in the Bay Area. But besides that, we need to stop acting like Colin Kaepernick did it on his own, because he had teammates with him who also took that first knee. As you mentioned, Eric Reed was one of them. But in addition to that, I'm not feeling sorry for Colin Kaepernick. And if you want to feel sorry for Colin Kaepernick, that's on you. And I'm not talking to you. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. Listeners. Because not only did the man get it back from Nike and turn this shit into a whole fucking marketing scheme, which has now been picked up by all these brands who are now not only trying to be aspirational but inspirational, all because Nike set the precedent thanks to Kaepernick. Not only just that, but dude got a settlement from the league, so I'm not sure what sort of terms there were in that, but I imagine that there's probably something where the NFL can't acknowledge Colin Kaepernick or say that they did something wrong to him or colluded against him. Because why else would you give somebody money to not talk about something? Unless, you know, you're also not going to talk about it. So I think there's an element to that of why he wasn't mentioned. And my last point on Kaepernick is, you said it before, Cam Newton is still fucking employed. And if the 2015 MVP is unemployed or underemployed, if he signed as a backup quarterback, then what the fuck are we talking about? And you said it off air. If Colin Kaepernick is really with the shits, what he should do is come out and say, you know what? I want to play in the NFL. I believe I still have what it takes to be a quarterback. But honestly, there's someone in front of me standing in line who's better, more prepared, and equally as great of a man, role model, martyr, whatever you want to call it. And that's Cam Newton. And until Cam Newton is signed, I don't give a fuck what Hugh Jackson has to say. I don't care about Pete Carroll's regrets. I don't care about Anthony Lynn or Sean McVay or Mike Shanahan's
or Ja Rule
opinion. Like, if you want to take a survey of all 32 coaches and all 32 of them say that Colin Kaepernick should be playing either as a starter or backup, I don't give a fuck until he's signed and Cam Newton is signed. Like, none of it matters. I don't care what you should have did 2 or 3 years ago. Are you going to do it now? No. Okay, then what the fuck are we talking about? Are you going to make sure Cam has a job? No. You went with Tyrod Taylor. No, you're sure still betting on Jimmy Garoppolo. No, you'd rather have Blake Bortles as an insurance policy to Jared Goff. So, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, talk about you, and Kenny says it again 1,000 times. You can't advocate for somebody who won't advocate for themselves. So stop wasting your fucking time adding the NFL and all these media outlets saying that the NFL should sign Colin Kaepernick, because not only is it not going to happen, but Cam Newton should get a fucking job first. Period.
And to kind of, add on to that, I still think Kaepernick should be offered a job, but I just don't think at this point it would hurt his legacy.
He doesn't need our, not just that, he doesn't need our energy.
It's counterproductive.
Our energy can go somewhere else.
I think he probably knows that too, but the thing is, it's almost like whatever he says, if he says you should go and fight for Cam Newton to get a job because he literally won an MVP and led a team to a Super Bowl on his back and the team threw him away and did him dirty. If you want to actually treat
and Cam is advocating for himself, bro. Cam has been saying he wants to play, he wants to start.
The whole time, all his IG posts and everything. And my thing is this, if you want to treat black quarterbacks better, now is the time to change that stigma. So I think if Cap were to do that, that'd be great to speak out, but he hasn't been speaking out at all.
And it's like that. It's like that thing we saw with social media last week. Like, you know, all my friends posting these black meme reposts, like black men
those
build
black
each other.
Boxes really pissed me off.
Black men, you know, build each other up, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm still post that too, by the way. Mine is coming.
but seeing that, like, that's what I would like to see Colin Kaepernick do. You know, build up these other black quarterbacks because, you know, whether or not you want to debate the football X's and O's side of it, I don't even care about that. Like, just in terms of where Kaepernick is at in his life, in his finances, in his energy, like, he doesn't need the NFL, like you said. It's going to undercut his legacy, and we have a lot of other shit to worry about, including getting Cam Newton back in the fucking NFL.
And also, I think Tyrod Taylor led Buffalo to their only fucking playoff appearance in, like, what, 15, 20 some odd years?
Yeah, he was ass in Cleveland, though. He was like literally ass. Like he was like a 52%.
That whole team was terrible, though. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Patrick can be ass
but
everywhere.
Baker went what 8-0 with them?
No. Ryan Fitzpatrick
Baker went like 7-1 with them.
Okay,
so you can't say the team was.
He's
ass.
a rookie. He had a hot start, and the offense was catered to him.
Stop it.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like Tyrod Taylor can't play. But you got to look at it, even for Baltimore. He's designed to be conservative throwing the ball. You watch him at Virginia Tech, when he was actually letting it loose and running, he was unstoppable.
Stop it. Don't get me started on Baltimore.
He made a Pro Bowl.
Was better.
I will slap the shit out of you. Do you even remember Marcus Vick stepped on a dude's
and he was nice.
And neck? He wasn't. Nice. He was trash.
He was nice.
He was only
nice.
He was slightly better completing the ball than his brother. And that's it. That's the only thing he had over his brother. Marcus Vick was trash.
Faster Tyrod Taylor?
No, he was probably slower. In fact, we should probably look at it. Because Tyrod ran a 4.4. I don't think Marcus Vick was a 4.4.
He ran like a 4.5.
Tyrod?
No.
Marcus? Exactly. Marcus was more of a, I'm fast, but I have decent arm talent, but he got in a shit ton of trouble at Virginia Tech. But that's a whole nother story. I just think with Cap, he can't.
He ran a 4.48.
Okay. See, so Tyrod ran a 4.42. Tyrod ran a fast ass 40. But yeah, you can Google that.
All right, what I'm gonna do over this next month, my project is gonna put
all
together
the Virginia Tech quarterbacks.
I'm gonna put Tyrod Taylor highlights mixed with Marcus Vick and see if you can blind guess who's who, and I'll blur out the numbers and shit.
You're a sick bastard. But honestly, Marcus Vick is bigger than him, so.
Ooh,
he's physically.
Tyrod ran a 4.55.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
At the combine or his pro day? Cause man got wheels.
2014 combine.
Alright, whatever. But anyway, my point with the whole Kaepernick situation, him petitioning to play, he'll probably go to a really shitty team. The whole line won't be that great. He'll drop back to pass, get hurt, and then it'll be it. And then they'll look back on him as a failure, and then all the teams will pat themselves on the back. I think it's just a mistake. Shouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. But again, the NFL's hubris and they're just straight up tone deafness. I mean, they've been tone deaf on more than just racial issues. Hell, DeAndre Williams gave them the idea to wear pink because his mom had breast cancer, and then he couldn't even wear it outside of Breast Cancer Awareness Month and was getting fined after his mother died. So it's like they're clearly behind the curve on things, and that mindset is just a real big issue. And this thing with